Sarah from Pause for Dog Training, and we are here with Hank today, and we're talking about puppy stuff. So Hank is here for puppy camp. He's a little miniature golden doodle, but we do offer a puppy camp where the puppies can come and get training, right? And we focus on different things. It's not commands. So if you come for a board and train and your dog is over 6 months old, those are commands. Those are heel, sit, down, under distraction, right? We're not going to do that with a little puppy. So what I've done here is I've made a list of the 5 things that we do with puppies, both for camp and my own personal dogs, that make the biggest impact. And some of this stuff you kind of need to do when they're really little anyways, so it needs to be part of that puppy program, right? So the first thing is crate training. You always need to crate train your dog. If you do not crate train your dog, you're opening yourself up to all kinds of mess and nonsense, right? It's 1,000 times easier to house train a puppy that's crate trained. Also, it's safer because you're keeping them away from eating something or getting into something when you're not home or during the night that could be really, really dangerous. So it's a safety issue too, right? You also want your puppy to be used to a crate as an adult because, like we just saw with all the hurricanes in the States, if a hurricane happens, some kind of disaster, the dog is sick, you're sick, something happens, right? The dog needs to be able to be confined safely, and it needs to know what to do when it's confined, right? Because if you don't teach it that, if you get a puppy right from its litter and it's used to being with all its litter mates and its mom around a lot of other dogs, it's really hard for that puppy to go from that type of environment to sometimes no other dogs, right? They're just with their person and it's a whole new lifestyle, right? So they really need to be taught how to be alone, and crate training is a great way to do that, right? You're teaching the dog to be alone and to be comfortable being alone, right? On their own. So for a crate, I always recommend the plastic airline crates. Those are the ones that we use here. They're just easier to clean. The dogs seem to like them better than the wire ones. So I would go for something like that. And maybe 2 sizes if you're getting a large dog. You'll need a little bit of a smaller one for a puppy and a little bit of a bigger one for a bigger dog, right? You don't want to get a huge giant crate and put a tiny puppy in there because they're going to have accidents, right? You want the crate to be small enough so that the dog can stand up, they can turn around, they can lay down comfortably, but it really shouldn't be any bigger than that. Any bigger than that and the puppies are they're gonna have accidents in the crate because there's room, right? If there's room, then they will. If the crate is small enough, the puppy will really try really, really hard not to mess inside their crate, right? And if they start doing that, it can become an even bigger issue that's really, really hard to deal with. So you really want to get an appropriately sized crate. The other thing you want to do is you want to feed your puppy in the crate. So if you're feeding 3 meals a day, all those meals are fed inside the crate. Also, every time you put the puppy in and out of the crate, I give them a little piece of food, especially going in. You can either use just a piece of their regular kibble, or you can use like a specialized treat that the puppy likes. Whatever kind of treats that you want to use for your dog, right? Come on. Good boy. Come on. So I would practice first, crate, throw a little piece of food in there, let the puppy come out, great, show them that it's a good thing, right? And then close the door, right? Your puppy's gonna bark, they're gonna cry, they might scratch at the door to get out. It's important that you not let them out when they're doing this, right? Which is why we're gonna keep the schedule that they're in the crate for just a little bit of time to start, and then we're gonna slowly extend that, right? So for an 8-week-old puppy, I would say maybe start with half an hour. You know what I mean? Have the puppy in there and then let them out. And then slowly build up that way. And definitely overnight, the puppy should be in the crate overnight. You can give them a blanket if that's gonna help. You can also give them like a chew toy, like a Bene bone or a Nyla bone inside the crate, which can help. But it's just something that they have to learn. And some puppies pick it up really, really easily, and they're kind of dreams, right? They kind of really enjoy the crate from the start. And other puppies are they really resist, and they'll scream and they'll bark. You just have to ignore it. You can't let them out when they're barking. If it helps, you can put the kennel in a spot where It's not going to be as annoying for you to listen to the barking. Or you could put it close to you if that helps your puppy. Whatever kind of helps your puppy decrease the barking is what you want to do at this point, because you're kind of just in survival mode when you're crate training. But the biggest mistake you can make is letting your dog out of that crate when they're barking, because then they learn that that bark has power, and that's going to carry over into your whole life with the dog, right? So put earplugs on, headphones, listen to music while the dog's in there if they're barking a lot, and wait until they're quiet for at least 30 seconds to a minute before you let them out, which might be really hard for some of the dogs out there, but it really is essential, okay? So the second thing we work on, and this goes hand in hand with the crate, is potty training, right? So you really want to get them on a schedule. Dogs love to be in a schedule. So if you can start this with a little puppy, and actually my 5th point is going over a schedule. So if you want to fast forward to that and see the schedule or watch the whole video, but I will be doing a comprehensive schedule, and this is the exact schedule that I follow with all the dogs that come here. But potty training, you want to get that dog in the crate for however long you're working up to. As soon as they're ready to come out of the crate, you're going to take them directly outside. So either that's into a fenced backyard or that's out on a leash, right? And you really want to watch the surface that they're going on, right? Because puppies will learn to house train by what they feel under their feet. So, and this might be relevant if you have a wooden deck or a cement patio, or grass. You want the dog to go on the grass, you're going to take the dog to the grass to go potty, okay? Take them out to the grass, you're just going to stand, you're not going to play too much, just stand, let them sniff around. The genius about the crate and using the crate is that once they come out of that crate, they should have to go. So they should have to go. So stand out with the dog, and I like to use a command to entice them to go, because again, this is the time to teach it. It's really hard to teach an older dog to go to the bathroom on command, but I teach it to all the puppies that come, because it's really easy for them to pick it up while they're house training, and then it will just stay with them for life. So I just stand out with the puppies, hurry, 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 hurry. And then as soon as they go, I'm ready with my treat. As soon as they're finished, good boy, give them the treat, lots of love, good boy, good boy, good boy. Hurry, hurry. Good boy, Hank. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, buddy. Sometimes puppies will do a double pee. That's really, really common. So I would stay out a little bit longer until you kind of get to know your puppy's habits, just to make sure that they're not going to do a double pee and have an accident inside, okay? That's what I want you to do. Take the dog out often, right? As often as you feel it's necessary. It can never kind of be too often. And then you're going to use that command, follow it up with a piece of food, and they will pick it up so fast if you're consistent with it, right? The third thing that we're going to talk about is learning their name, engaging. So to do that, I'm just going to demonstrate with Hank here, who may or may not know his name. We haven't worked that much on it yet because he just got here, but I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? Engagement is so important for any kind of training that you do with your dog. You really want that automatic attention, right? So I just have a few small treats, and I'm going to try him off leash first, but if he doesn't quite understand, then I'm probably going to pop the leash on and help him with that leash, okay? Hank, good boy, yes. Good. So I'm essentially just going to say his name, and I'm going to give him a piece of food. It takes him a little while to eat the treats, so normally it would just be Spitfire one after the other. Hank, good boy. You would say their name and feed. Hank, feed, Hank, feed, Hank, feed, right? Good boy. Hank. Hank's kind of a slow eater, which is fine. It's all going to tailor to what the personality of the dog is, right? So for a dog like Hank, who's kind of a slow eater, we might move to something like wet food on a spoon or peanut butter on a spoon, something that he can just kind of quickly lick and then move along. A lot of the poodle mixes, doodles, they don't have a high food drive even when they're puppies, so that can be a little bit difficult. But again, it's about finding what works for you and for your dog. But essentially you're just going to teach them their name, right? You're going to teach them how to take the food and pair it with their name. So Hank, give him a piece of food. Hank, give him a piece of food, right? And then the next thing that you can move on to after that is only giving them food when they're paying attention to you, which is one that we repeat with the service dog puppies right from when they're really, really little. We're constantly, it's called manding, but the puppy just has to look at you and it gets a piece of food, right? And they pick that up so fast. So yeah, it's important. And you can also pair that with a recall. So you can call, and this works even inside the house. So Hank, come. If he knows he's getting a piece of food, you can give him a piece of food. Hank. There you go. Good boy. You can work that recall into it. It's really easy to work it in when you're working on engagement. But there's tons of engagement games specifically for puppies. So maybe I'll make a whole separate video on that. So number 4, and this is the only actual command that I like to teach, it's just a sit. It's not with an implied stay, it's not anything fancy, we're not requiring eye contact, we're just simply teaching the dog how to sit and kind of how to train, right? Because you're teaching them that those words have value and that their actions kind of have value. Puppies aren't born knowing that, right? So let me see if I can get Hank to sit. Hank. Hank. Good. So I'm just going to show him the food. Good. Sit. Yes. He just did it on his own, which will happen. So as soon as they do it, you just say the word. You're going to match it with that word, and then you can give them the piece of food, okay? Hank. Going to get him out of that sit. You can talk to him. Hank, sit. Good. Good boy. Good boy. Hank. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the spoon, okay? I'll be right back. I'm going to take my own advice. Okay, so I got a spoon. I just put some peanut butter on it, and we're going to see how this goes. Hank? Yeah, so just one lick, okay? So instead of the food, he's just getting one lick. Hank, sit. Good, yes, good boy. Good boy, yes. You can move out of there. Sit. Good. So I'm actually waiting until he sits to say the actual word. Sit. Good. Because they don't actually know what it means yet, right? So you're actually teaching them what it means, and you're kind of teaching them how to train when you do this too, right? Oh, you like that. Oh, you like that. Sit. Good. Good boy. Down. Good. Sit. Good. Sit. Good. Good boy. Hey. Yeah. Sit. Good. Boy. Oh, the spoon is much more interesting and easier for him to eat than the hard treats, which is good to know, right? You sometimes have to try stuff with dogs to see what's going to kind of work best, right? So definitely the spoon is a hit for Hank. And then the last one is the schedule. So the schedule is going to kind of combine all of these things, and this is the schedule that we follow with our dogs here, and it's kind of a crate and out time kind of schedule, right? So if we're starting with a brand new 8-week-old puppy, those puppies generally can't hold it through the night, and they need a lot of care. They need a lot of potty breaks, right? So if I was starting with an 8-week-old puppy and we were starting this whole program, I'd probably plan to be up around 6 in the morning depending when the sun comes up. If the sun's coming up earlier than that, you're going to want to get up before the sun gets up, because I guarantee you that when the sun comes up, your dog will be up. So let's say we're starting at 6 a.m., okay? We get our puppy from the crate. We're going to go outside. We're going to do the potty. I'm going to have my spoon with me for Hank. We're going to do the hurry, 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 hurry. I'm going to wait for him to go potty, hurry, hurry. And I'm probably going to spend a little bit of extra time outside because it's first thing in the morning and he might have to do a few things out there, okay? Hurry, 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 hurry. You know, we're going to spend 10 or 15 minutes out there. Then we're going to come back in. And we're just going to have supervised time. So any supervised time can mean anything, but it always means that you're supervising the dog 100%. So this can be that you're walking the dog, you are training the dog, you are outside with the dog, you're sitting on the couch watching TV, but the dog is cornered off so that it's only in that room and you're keeping an eye on that dog, right? This is how we're going to avoid accidents, right? So you can have 15 to 30 minutes of free time where you're watching the dog, and if there's any signs that the dog needs to go potty, you're going to take that dog out. Even if you're not sure, you're going to take that dog out. When that puppy is brand new and you're not sure, take that dog out and see if they have to potty, okay? You really want to get them on the habit of going on the surface that you want them to go on right from the jump, because they'll pick that up really fast. But if you're lax during this time, they'll also pick that up. So you'll end up with a dog who's having a lot of accidents, usually on the same surface. So they're going on the carpet or they're going in the same spot in the house all the time. And that's because they've just learned that from when they were little, that when I feel that hardwood floor under my feet or when I feel that carpet, that's going to trigger me to go. And we don't want that at all. We want to avoid all the accidents. And if you're watching the dog, there shouldn't be any accidents, right? So we're doing 15 to 30 minutes of free supervised time. Then we're going to go back out to potty. Again, we're going to do it again. Hurry, 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 hurry. Let the dog potty. The dog might not potty, which is fine. And then we're going to do breakfast inside the crate. Feed the dog. The dog's inside the crate. And they're in the crate for half an hour to an hour. And I would extend this if it was an older puppy. So if this was like a 4-month-old puppy, there would be more supervised time, and maybe weaving in some unsupervised time there for an older puppy that has an established routine. But for a fresh puppy, you want to watch them all the time, okay? So we're going to do breakfast. We're going to go back in the crate for about an hour, okay? Maybe a little bit less if it's a really small puppy and it's going to the bathroom frequently. And then once that's done, again, we're out of the crate, we're right outside. We're going potty, and then we're having supervised time again. Again, I would start at 20 minutes, half an hour, and I would extend that depending on the puppy's age, the puppy's schedule that they're on, and your experience with knowing how often this puppy needs to go to the bathroom, okay? And just supervised free time. So you're supervising that puppy. You're not letting that puppy pick up any bad habits. You're not letting that puppy on the couch if they're not supposed to be on the couch. You're not letting that puppy chew the table legs. You're watching them. You're on top of that, right? And a tired puppy shouldn't get into that stuff. So you need to be doing purposeful things with your puppy. Training sessions, little puzzle food games, walking. Do you know what I mean? Just playing outside. You can't just sit on the couch and look at your phone when you have a little puppy. You need to engage with that puppy, because this is the important time to really build that puppy's personality, and you want to build it the right way, okay? So after that, again, we're going to go back out to potty, and then we're going to go back in the crate for half an hour. If this was an older puppy, we would do 2 or 3 hours, right? So you're kind of mixing it up. We're potty, crate, potty again when they come out, supervised free time, and then we're repeating potty, crate, right? Potty again, supervised free time, which could be you just supervising, training, walking, but you need to do something engaging with your dogs besides just letting them decide what they're going to do, because they're going to pick the wrong thing, and then you're building, everything you do with your dog is building a habit, right? So then you're building all these habits around the wrong thing, and it's going to be a disaster, okay? But that's exactly the schedule that you need to follow. Now for nighttime, I always pick the water up at least a couple of hours before you're going to bed. So let's say you're going to bed at 11 p.m., which is a little bit late for me, but say that's what it is. And if you have an 8-week-old puppy, you might have to stay up a little bit later, right? Depending on what their habits are, right? You might just need to stay up a little bit later to prevent them from having that overnight accident in the crate, which it's a brand new puppy. You just have to suck it up and you have to do it, right? But I would pick the water up a couple hours before you go to bed. So if we're going to bed at 11, I would probably pick it up before 9. So maybe around 7 or 8, I would definitely no water. And usually with little puppies too, I'll feed them their last meal a little bit earlier too. So we're feeding around 4 p.m. maybe instead of 5, 6, or 7 p.m. because you don't want to load them up with all kinds of food right before you put them in the crate at night. It's going to be a disaster, right? Blankets inside the crate, you can put blankets inside the crate. Sometimes that will trigger the puppy to have accidents in the crate, so monitor that. If they do fine with the blanket, you can keep going. Again, some kind of nylabone or chew bone inside the crate overnight and during the day. Every puppy that comes here for puppy camp, I send them home with a written schedule because it's tailored to that individual puppy. But if you're looking for a schedule, please comment or send me a message and I can help you make up a schedule for your puppy. So I hope that you've enjoyed that. I'm going to make some more videos going into more detail about these 5 things. But this is a good kind of general rule to follow with your new puppy, okay? So yeah, we'll see you next time.